I want you to think about a specific morning. Not this morning, a morning from a few years ago. You woke up and something was there that you hadn't thought about in years because you'd never needed to. It was just there, automatic, liable. You only start to appreciate it when it begins to fade. First, occasionally, then regularly. Then one morning you realize it's simply gone and you can't remember exactly when it left. And you do what most men do, you say nothing to nobody. You quietly adjust to a version of your mornings that is smaller than the one you used to have. And somewhere underneath that quiet adjustment is a question you haven't let yourself ask out loud yet. Is this just who I am now? I'm here to tell you, it isn't. And tonight I'm going to show you exactly what to do about it. Dr. Aria Brooks, urologist and men's intimacy coach. And today I want to talk about something most men's health content never addresses directly, even though it sits at the center of nearly every conversation I have with men over 50 behind closed doors. The morning erection. What it really is, what its absence is telling you, and what you can do tonight, in the last 30 minutes before you close your eyes, to bring it back. No prescriptions, no shortcuts. 5 intentional steps that work directly with the biology your body is already trying to activate every single night. Stay with me and drop a comment below. How old are you and where are you watching from? I want to tell you about a patient before we go any further. He was 57, a former collegiate athlete, the kind of man who had always defined himself by what his body could do. He came in for a routine appointment, and before he left, I asked him, as I ask every male patient over 50, about his morning erections. He smiled first. The way men smile when they want to brush something off, then the smile faded. And he said, "Honestly, Dr. Brooks, I stopped paying attention to that a while ago because paying attention to it was too discouraging." And that one sentence was everything. This was a man who had built his entire identity around trusting his body. And somewhere in his 50s, that trust had been quietly broken. He hadn't told his wife, hadn't mentioned it at any previous appointment, just carried it alone. I told him what I'm about to tell you. Hold on to his story. We will come back to it at the end. Before the ritual, one thing you need to understand, because once you see it, everything clicks. The morning erection is not simply a sexual phenomenon. It is one of the most accurate indicators of cardiovascular health and hormonal function the male body produces. It happens, or is supposed to happen, 3 to 5 times every night during REM sleep, with the strongest episode in the early morning hours just before waking. These erections have nothing to do with arousal. They are driven entirely by your body doing its overnight maintenance work. During sleep, testosterone builds gradually through the night, peaking in the early morning hours. Nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes and opens your blood vessels, is actively restored during sleep in a way it cannot be during waking hours. And growth hormone floods the system, driving tissue repair throughout the body. The morning erection is visible proof that all 3 of those processes worked correctly. It is your body's report card, printed fresh every morning, whether you're reading it or not. Here's the simplest way I know to say it. When you're young, the flag goes up every morning, fully, reliably, without a second thought. After 50, it starts going up halfway, then a quarter of the way. Then one morning it isn't going up at all, and you've become so quietly adjusted to its absence that you almost missed when it stopped. This ritual is about getting the flag back up, not artificially, by giving your body's overnight repair process everything it has been running short on. After 53 things interfere with that restoration simultaneously, testosterone production during sleep declines, the inner lining of your blood vessels becomes less efficient at restoring nitric oxide overnight. And cortisol no longer drops as completely during sleep as it once did, directly suppressing testosterone and keeping blood vessels constricted through the hours they should be recovering. Think of it like a repair crew that comes in after the city sleeps to restore the roads. When you're young, that crew arrives fully equipped. After 50, they still show up every single night without fail, but they're running low on supplies and the repairs are partial. You wake up with roads narrower and more worn than they should be. What follows gives that crew everything they've been missing. So here's what the 30 minutes before bed actually looks like, and why each part of it matters more than most men would expect. The first thing I call the blackout, and it starts 30 minutes before you intend to sleep. every screen goes off. Not dimmed, not face down on the nightstand. And I know that sounds almost insultingly simple, but hear the reason before you move past it. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin production by signaling to your brain that it is still daytime. And melatonin is not simply a sleep hormone, it is the biological trigger that initiates the deep sleep stages where testosterone surges and nitric oxide is restored. Every night you scroll until you fall asleep, you are compressing the exact window where your body does its most important hormonal work. You sleep the same number of hours but spend less time in the stages that actually matter. The testosterone surge is smaller, the nitric oxide restoration is less complete. 10 minutes of dim, quiet environment is all your brain needs to begin the hormonal cascade that everything else depends on. Stop taking that signal away from yourself every single night. About 5 minutes after that comes what I call the cool trigger. And this one surprises men every time. Take a warm shower. Not hot, warm. Your body needs to drop its core temperature by 1 to 2 degrees to enter and sustain deep sleep. And when you step out of a warm shower, the rapid evaporative cooling of your skin triggers exactly that drop. Research has shown this accelerates deep sleep onset by up to 30%. More deep sleep means more testosterone production, more nitric oxide restoration, more complete vascular repair overnight. A stronger report card waiting for you in the morning. If a nightly shower isn't practical, just keep your bedroom between 75 and 68 degrees. Your body is trying to cool down every single night. All you need to do is stop fighting it. Then comes the step that, in my experience, produces the fastest noticeable change. I call it the flush. Sit quietly for 5 minutes and breathe deliberately. In through the nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, release through the mouth for 6. That's it. 5 minutes. Every night. Cortisol is testosterone's direct biochemical antagonist. When one rises, the other falls. Not metaphorically, but chemically in your bloodstream right now. Men who go to bed still carrying the weight of the day go to sleep with elevated cortisol that actively suppresses the overnight testosterone surge before it can fully develop. This breathing pattern activates the parasympathetic nervous system and drives cortisol down within minutes. It tells your body the day is over. The guard can come down, testosterone can rise. I've had men report noticeably stronger mornings within a week of this single step alone. Nothing else changed, because for the first time, their testosterone was finally allowed to do what it had been trying to do all along. Now, here's the one most men want to skip, and the one I feel most strongly about. I call it the loop breaker, and the name will make sense in a moment. Before you get into bed, write down 3 things from the day that were good. Not type, write by hand in a notebook kept beside your bed. 3 things, 2 minutes, every night. I already know what you're thinking. What does this have to do with erections? So let me make it impossible to dismiss. The brain left unsupervised at the end of a stressful day runs what I call a threat loop, replaying conflicts, anticipating tomorrow, rehearsing what went wrong. This keeps cortisol elevated well into the night even after you fall asleep. Even after the flush brought it down, if your brain returns to threat mode the moment your head hits the pillow, cortisol climbs back and the testosterone suppression continues through the night. Writing 3 specific positive observations breaks that loop at the neurological level. It gives your brain a resolved, settled state to carry into sleep instead of an unfinished emergency. Research has documented that men who do this consistently show measurably lower cortisol at waking and higher morning testosterone than those who don't. This is not the soft step. This is the step that determines the hormonal environment your body operates in for the next 8 hours. Men who skip it because it sounds too simple are leaving testosterone on the table every single night and blaming age for the result. And the final step, the one I call the foundation, is about how you physically set yourself up for the night. Sleep on your left side with a pillow between your knees. Left side sleeping improves systemic circulation and reduces pressure on the vena cava, the large vein returning blood to the heart. The pillow keeps your hips and pelvis in neutral alignment, releasing the tension that restricts blood flow to the pelvic region during sleep. The nocturnal erections building toward that final morning signal depend on unrestricted pelvic circulation during every REM cycle. Your position either supports or restricts that flow for 8 consecutive hours, and most men have never been told that it matters at all. Keep your phone outside the bedroom entirely, not silent, not face down, outside. Research has documented that even the psychological awareness of a phone's presence maintains a low-level vigilance that measurably reduces deep sleep quality. Bedroom sends your brain a signal every single night. The foundation is making sure every element of that signal says the same thing. This is where recovery happens. Nothing else belongs here. A lot of men ask me after videos like this whether there are more habits like this they can build into their daily life. So I put everything together in one place. It's called the All-in-One Men's Vitality and Intimacy Blueprint. Practical daily rituals, just like today's, built specifically for blood flow, energy, and performance after 50. Link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Now, let me bring this back to where we started. My patient left that day with this ritual written on a piece of paper in my handwriting: the blackout, the cool trigger, the flush, the loop breaker, the foundation, a specific time for each one. He was skeptical, the careful skepticism of a man who has been disappointed before. But he was also honest enough to recognize that what he'd been doing, pretending not to notice, carrying it alone, wasn't working either. So he tried it every night for 4 weeks. Then he sent me a message. He said, "It's coming back. Not every morning yet, but enough mornings that I've stopped dreading waking up. The first time in years, I feel like my body is on my side again." Then he added one more thing. He said, "I spent my whole life being proud of what my body could do. Somewhere in my 50s, I stopped feeling that way. This is the first time in a long time that I feel like maybe I still can." That is what the morning erection really is for men over 50. It is not just a measure of sexual health. It is proof, biological, personal, undeniable proof, that testosterone is still rising, that blood is still flowing, that the body is still fighting for the man inside it. When it fades, men lose something they often can't name but feel in everything: their confidence, their energy, the quiet certainty of their own strength. When it returns, they recognize it immediately, not just as a physical sensation, as a message from their own body. I'm still here. I'm still capable. I'm not done with you yet. This ritual is 30 minutes. The changes begin within days. They deepen over weeks. They compound over months into something that extends far beyond the bedroom, into energy, drive, and the quiet certainty that the man you remember being is not gone. He's been waiting every single morning for the right conditions to show himself again. Your body has never stopped trying to send you that signal. Give it what it needs tonight, and let it show you what it's been waiting to show you all along. Before we wrap up, I know that for a lot of men watching, today touched something they've been carrying quietly for longer than they'd like to admit. The slow loss of something that used to be automatic, something that made them feel certain of their own body. What you're feeling is not the end of something. It is the beginning of understanding what your body has been asking for all along. When it comes to supplements that support this restoration when daily habits alone aren't enough, after years of research and clinical experience, I've narrowed it down to 4 essentials: one for stronger erections, one for stamina and performance, one for testosterone balance, and one for prostate comfort. All natural, backed by science, chosen to work together. You'll find them linked in the description and pinned in the comments. And remember, this channel is a safe space where men support each other. Share your thoughts below. Tell us your age and where you're from. As men age, this isn't the end, it's a new beginning. I'm Dr. Aria Brooks, and I'll see you in the next video.